Okay. So somebody once gave me this book, called The Rules, that you might have heard of by these girls, these women, named Elaine Fine and Sherry Schneider. And, for those of you, it's kind of like, I think they're dating coaches, or like how to find a man to marry you, or whatever. Anyway, so I wrote this, Rules of Textual Engagement. It's a little prosy, so sit back and, Looking at a text first is a dead giveaway of interest. Let it look at you. Make that text feel that you are unattainable, that you are fulfilled and functional and happy without reading it, that you are perfectly capable of living with or without it. You are not an empty vessel waiting for that text to fill you up, to entertain, illuminate, or transport you. You are alive and enthusiastic, engaged in deep socio-political, post-industrial, anti-consumerist aesthetics. You do not need to intersect with that syntagmatic quagmire, so be distant and unobtainable. For goodness sake, you are not an open book, so unveil yourself slowly. Read it letter by letter, line by line, savoring each sonoric cluster, stanza. Read it perhaps only once a week at first. And after, you become ever so passionately engaged with every curve, each orthographic homage, every syntagmatic moment. Tell that text, I'm sorry, I already have other reading plans. The next time it wants you to read it. Even if you feel intoxicated by the smell of its print, the thickness of its paper, the smell of it on your fingers, in your nose, tell that text, I'm sorry, my reading itinerary does not include you. For this text may be dangerous, full of unwanted dis-ease, slippage. It may ooze testosterone and be disastrously unfaithful. Don't be surprised if that text calls out to you in your sleep, dreams, or when you are reading other texts, or during sweaty discourse. But when you finally agree to immerse yourself in it, explore that text like uncharted territory. Read it like you've never read before. Read it with verve, with passion. Insert yourself in it. Engage with every aspect of its teleology, its material makeup, and the foundations of its thinking systems, codes, queries. Let it swirl through you and caress each pneumatic moment of never-ending possibility. With no assumption of truth, authenticity, or closure, be gentle and be rough. Let it do things to you as you do things to it. Simultaneously enter its paradigmatic and syntagmatic axes with your mouth. Gently caress its traces, entrances, complexities, and travel with it through sonoric and material exuberance. Let it resonate with you. Make it scream. And after, be casual and unmoved by the fact that that chapter or stanza is over. With that attitude, chances are that text will be clinging to you. Don't try to keep it with you by suggesting that you can penetrate it deeper, that you alone are able to unpack its intricately woven complex references when you read it in bed. In fact, don't spend all your time with your text in bed. Take it out. Hold it close in your pocket or between your inner thighs. Rub its spine. Embrace it with your fingers or under your arm. Make it ache for you. Remember, you are in control of your own textasy. But if you absolutely cannot take it, you just need to be with that text again. You just need to have it, to hear its voice. Read a little, then close it. Do not let that text think that just because you have more text, you will read it too. So if you want to really keep that text guessing, Take it to a book party, a library, a bookstore. Take it into a classroom where other texts are being celebrated. Show that text it's not the only text in town. Watch its pages crumple. Turn inward. Reminded at any time it could be remaindered, manhandled, manipulated, or mocked down. It could be marginalized. But be careful, because when you finally decide to read the text fully, you may discover certain flaws, find things about it you wish were different. It may not be as playful as you may have wanted. It may be too full of assonance, or its harsh juxtapositions or collisions may irritate you. Perhaps you will find its margins too wide, or its lexicon unwieldy. Perhaps its ambiguous nature will seem unsatisfying, or its ellipses artificially plumped up. But you must decide if you can accept these chronological blemishes and work them. Because that text is not just looking for a light reading, but a real reader, a close reader, a reader that will make it feel alive. For goodness sake, the text is not just after a one-night scan. The text wants something real, lasting, that only you can offer it. A fully metonymous relationship. For life.